Uh-huh. Well, gee, I don't know, Susie. I'll have to ask my uncle as soon as he comes in. Oh, wait a minute. Here he is now. Uncle Homer?
Yes?
Uncle Homer, is it all right if I go babysit with Susie Fredericks tonight?
Susie Fredericks? Well, to the best of my knowledge, she's almost 17. Does she need a babysitter at her age?
No, Uncle Homer, it's not Susie Fredericks. The Bovards want her to sit for them, and her mother won't let her go alone, and her father can't go with her tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, who'll see you home?
Mr. Bovard will, right after the early movie.
Very well, then you may go and be the babysitter's sitter.
He says, yes, I can go, Susie. Hey, what do you think of the new boy in English class? I think he's nice, too. Bye. See you tonight.
Here you are, Judge Bell. I've finished with it.
Oh, thank you,
There's a
Maude.
story in there about your friend Ben Rudley's son.
Oh, where?
Right there on page 4. He went bankrupt again. Oh, I'll bet Mr. Rudley is in a tizzy.
And the sad part of it is he knows it's his own fault.
Well, how is it Mr. Rudley's fault?
Ben Rudley has run his boy's life ever since the young man was a child.
Really?
Whenever he gave him money, he'd tell him where and how to spend it. He'd even pick his clothes and his friends and his recreation. When the induction board asked him what branch of the service he wanted to go into, he said he'd have to go home and ask his father.
Isn't that awful?
Well, in all my years on the bench, Maude, I've learned one thing. We cannot expect our young people to become responsible citizens unless we let them grow up with responsibilities.
You're so right, Judge Bell.
I do hope Casey gets home soon.
Hi, Uncle Homer.
Hello, my dear.
All right, Mr. Bovard, I'm in. Thank you.
I'm certainly glad you're home.
You shouldn't have waited up for me.
I rather like waiting up for you, but now you'd better get to bed. It's getting late.
All right, Uncle Homer. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Uncle Homer,
Yes?
could I go to a party Friday night?
Who's giving it?
Dodie Barnes.
Is it being chaperoned?
Oh, yes.
Who's taking you?
Freddie Carter.
Freddie? Oh, it's all right. You may go.
Good. Uncle Homer,
Yes?
could I have a new dress for the party?
Uh-oh.
I hate to keep asking you for things, but
That's all right. I enjoy getting them for you.
will you come and help me pick it out?
All right. You meet me downtown tomorrow, and I'll help you choose it.
Oh, Uncle Homer, you're wonderful. Good morning, Uncle Homer.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning, Maude.
Morning, Casey.
Did you rest well?
Yes, thank you. And you?
Indeed I did. And now I'd better be going.
Oh, Uncle Homer, before you go, could I have my allowance?
Oh, yes, yes.
Could I have an extra $1? I have to buy a new notebook and some binder paper.
Well, I'll have to consult my banker. Seem to be running short of funds, Maude.
It's all right, Judge Bell. Take me just a minute to open the vault.
And could I have your permission to trade my pink sweater for Nancy Lou's blue one?
My permission to trade sweaters.
Yes. What's the matter?
Here's your money, Judge Bell.
Just a moment. Maude, I've come to a decision.
Well, you're in the right profession for it.
Do you remember what I told you about Mr. Rudley?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the time I was talking about him, I had a strange feeling that I was describing somebody else.
Who?
Myself. There I was, explaining how Mr. Rudley had made a mistake in raising his boy Arthur by not giving him a sufficient sense of responsibility and self-reliance, and all the time I am being much too protective and sheltering toward Casey.
Huh?
Yes, young lady. And beginning tomorrow, you're going to have some new responsibilities. We will begin by raising your allowance and opening a checking account of your own at the bank.
A checking account? Oh, Uncle Homer!
Oh, the eggs.
A checking account of her own. Very good idea. We've encouraged it for years. Now, if you'll just fill these out, Miss Bell.
I brought my own, thank you.
Oh, yes. We like to get them to start the banking habit early. Does wonders for their self-reliance. You'd be surprised at the number of teenage accounts that we're carrying right now.
This will open the account.
Oh, fine, fine.
Sign your full name, my dear. Cassandra Bell.
Yes, I know.
It's really amazing how many teenagers are becoming self-supporting, paying their own way. It's really a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
It's too bad that more of them are not becoming self-sufficient and independent. It's a fine thing when they can stand on their own.
Yes, it is.
And the earlier they get started, the more successful they will be later on. I say that every youngster should be encouraged to learn the secret of success.
And what is that?
What is what?
The secret of success.
Oh, yes. Well, whenever I'm asked that, I always say the secret of success is to find a need and fill it. Are there any questions right now?
Just one.
Yes.
When do I get the checkbook?
Oh, well, here you are, and good luck.
Well, Casey, the best advice I can give you is to make your own errors and work them out. One generation never seems to profit by the mistakes of another generation.
It doesn't?
No, and if it did, we wouldn't have to have 1,000 new laws every year to uphold the 10 Commandments.
Oh, look, there's Bones Riley.
Who?
Bones, the Riley's dog from down the street.
Oh,
Hiya, Bones. How's the old dog?
sort of a mixed thoroughbred, huh?
He's nice, isn't he?
Yes, he's a very nice doggy. But don't let him in the house. He needs a bath.
Sorry, Bones. You'll have to stay outside today. You heard what Uncle Homer said. And he was right. You do need a bath. Why, you've been... By golly, I'll do it. And lots of kids are in business, Susie. It's very prevalent these days. I already have my own checking account. I have so. Uncle Homer set it up for me this morning. Will you just call the neighborhood bank and ask them if Cassandra Bell's check for $1 isn't good? Anyway, will you tell your friends about it? Thanks. Bye. Yes, that's right. Casey Bell. And the address is 3514. 3514. Thanks. I hope it'll be a big success, too. Yes, the grand opening is tomorrow morning.
Maude, what in the world's going on here?
Casey has gone into business.
Business?
She's taking in dogs to wash. This is now the home office of Casey's Canine Cleaners.
What?
Hi, Uncle Homer.
Another one.
Maude, did the dog candy come?
It's right behind you, Casey.
Oh. Everyone gets a reward for being so patient.
Why, Casey, what in the world gave you this idea?
You did, yesterday, when you said Bones Riley needed a bath. I gave him one, and Mrs. Riley gave me $1. Nearly everyone I know has a dog, and they all need baths. So I thought I'd go into business. It's all right with you, isn't it, Uncle Homer?
Yes, of course, only our house looks like the dog pound. You wouldn't want to turn our happy home into a dog house, would you?
I'm sorry, Uncle Homer, but after today it won't be like that. From now on, I take them by appointment only. Oh, Uncle Homer, would you go? I have to check the other customers.
All right. A few more animals like this and we'll be in the dog house with the neighbors. Yes?
Here you are, my good man. This is Tutu.
What?
Aren't you the dog washing people? Mrs. Riley recommended you. She said you did a wonderful job on her Bones. You know, Bones. So I'm letting Tutu try you out. She simply abhorred the last place she went to. Didn't you, darling? Yes. Now, she prefers her bath water at 95 degrees and must be brushed from front to back gently. From back to front makes her very nervous, doesn't it, dear? And don't speak harshly to her. She's a very sensitive girl. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I paid $200 for her.
Yeah, no wonder she's nervous. What did you say the name was?
Tutu.
And the address, Mrs. Tutu?
Tutu is the dog's name. I am Mrs. Amory Wilton.
We just like to know whom to call in case of emergency.
Oh.
like my paws washed either when I was a little baby. You're a sweetheart. Yes.
Hi. It's quiet around here this afternoon.
It certainly is. Where's Casey?
Counting her receipts.
What, again?
I've heard of people going to the dogs, but for a while there yesterday, it looked like the dogs were all going to the bells.
Oh, good. You're both in here. Maude, this is for you. And Uncle Homer, this is yours.
What's this?
Your paycheck.
Paycheck?
Yes, for all the work you did yesterday.
Oh, Casey, you don't have to pay me for that.
Yes, I do. If I'm going to run a business, I can't have people working for me for nothing. Please, Maude. Uncle Homer, you'll keep yours, won't you?
Well, if you insist.
Land sakes, all that?
Well, it's the same rate people pay for babysitting.
But, Casey, why don't you apply this to the allowance that I give you for your checking account?
Oh, I won't be needing that anymore.
What's that?
You don't have to give me an allowance.
I most certainly will give you an allowance.
I'm in business now. I don't want it. My business brings in much more than the allowance.
You've been in business one day.
And I'm all booked up for next Saturday and Sunday. Oh, it's wonderful to be independently wealthy.
It must be.
And after I get my books all set up, we can discuss how much I can afford to give to the household.
But, Casey, you don't have to.
I insist. I want to be completely independent.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, not for me. Casey, may I interrupt you?
Well, of course.
This just came for you.
Oh, thank you.
What is it?
When you see them. My new business cards. Down in the corner it says, call for appointment weekdays 5 to 7.
Progress, progress. Where will it all end?
Oh, Uncle Homer, one other thing.
Hmm?
Could we make it a standing rule to have all conversations on the telephone limited to 3 minutes?
A splendid idea, but won't that be rather hard on you when you're talking to Jane and to Dodie?
I'll have to steel myself.
What's all this work you're doing?
Oh, I'm setting up my books.
Oh, I see. Well, if you need any help, I'll be glad to show you how.
Well, thanks anyway, Uncle Homer, but if I need any help, I'll go see Mr. Greenleaf at the bank.
Oh.
Oh, Uncle Homer!
Yes?
Please don't go without taking a handful of these.
What?
Well, you can hand them out at the courthouse.
Oh. Very well.
Uncle Homer?
Why, Casey, what are you doing down here?
Shopping. I have a surprise for you.
Oh, I don't know whether I can stand it. You've handed me so many this week.
Go sit down.
Well, all right.
Now close your eyes.
All right.
Tight. All right. Open them.
Why, Casey, a portable typewriter.
I've been wanting to get you something for the longest time.
But, Casey, a typewriter?
Don't you like it?
Well, yes, of course. But you can't afford to buy me gifts like this. I don't care how well your business is doing.
No, Uncle Homer, it's all right. I'm buying it on time.
What?
I'm buying presents for everyone that way.
Casey.
Well, I have to go by the Wiltons and pick up Tutu.
That dog again?
She's spending the weekend with us.
Oh, why?
Well, Mrs. Wilton is going out of town, and dog sitting is one of my services.
Oh.
I've branched out. Well, I've got to be going. Bye, Uncle Homer. See you at dinner.
Not tonight, dear. I'm having dinner downtown with Judge Bangkok. You see, I...
Well, you don't have to explain, Uncle Homer. I trust you.
What a woman. Casey! There you are. Maude goes to a movie, Casey goes to a party, and I come home and find somebody sleeping in my favorite chair. Strange Casey didn't mention a party when I saw her this afternoon.
So I saw it twice. Well, what's the matter? You look like you're going to cross-examine.
I thought you were Casey, coming home from a party.
Did Casey go to a party?
Why, yes. Didn't she consult you about it either?
No.
I don't like this, Maude. I don't like it one bit. Take a look at that. Casey is carrying independence too far. Do you realize what she's done?
Gone to a party.
She's gone out at night without asking permission from either one of us. Just gone to a party. Doesn't say where the party is, and doesn't say when she'll be home.
Well, Casey's a sensible girl, so she'll probably come home when she's supposed to.
Casey knows that she's not to stay out after 10 at night unless she is chaperoned by parents.
Maybe she is chaperoned.
And even then, she has to be home by 11:30.
Well, it's only 11 now.
Oh, that clock's been running slow all evening. I've been watching it. Must be away after midnight by now.
Just 11.
Well, feels later. Much later.
Judge, why don't you sit down and I'll go make you a cup of cocoa.
And on top of everything, that dog has spent the entire evening in my favorite chair. And in addition, she keeps staring at me as though I didn't belong here. How long is she going to be with us?
Until Sunday afternoon. Oh, there's Casey now. And it's just 11:25.
All right, Freddie, good night.
Just a minute, young man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Homer. He couldn't come in. His father's waiting for him at the car.
Who was he?
Freddie Carter.
Oh.
House 22. I was a little worried about her. She's so sensitive.
She's just fine.
Casey, why didn't you tell us you were going to a party?
Oh, I knew you'd say it was all right as long as I was going with Freddie Carter. Well, good night, Uncle Homer. I'm for bed. I have a big day ahead of me with the Rover boys.
Huh?
That's what I call my customers. Good night, Maude.
Good night, Casey.
Good night, dear.
I'm glad you didn't say anything.
What could I say? Casey was so completely sensible. I knew this time would come, but I didn't expect it so soon.
Huh?
Maude, if I ever raise another niece, this is a lesson to me on when to give her a checking account.
Well, what do you mean, Judge Bell?
Well, can't you see, Maude? Casey wants no allowance, no advice, no permission. My little girl doesn't need me anymore. I wish she did.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Welton.
Well, hello. I've come for Tutu.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Welton. I'll have to bring her over to you later. I don't know where she is right now.
What?
Well, I can't seem to find her.
Can't find her? Why, nonsense. She must be somewhere about the house.
She isn't. I've looked everywhere. She's gone.
Gone? Young woman, what have you done with Tutu?
I haven't done anything with her. She's just disappeared.
Disappeared? I won't have it, do you hear? I won't have it. I paid $200 for that dog. She's registered, and I want her back.
Well, of course. I'll try to find her. But if she's run away...
Run away? Oh, my precious little Tutu, my baby.
But Mrs. Wilson...
Oh, you careless, bungling, impossible little...
I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson.
Sorry. You'll pay for this. I'll report you to the police. I'll sue you for negligence. My lawyers will see you in the morning.
And she's going to sue me for $200, and I just can't afford it. Why did this have to happen? As if business isn't bad enough.
Business? What's the matter with it?
Everything. My books won't balance. I can't figure out how much I owe you for hot water and phone calls. And I'm overdrawn at the bank.
Overdrawn? In your checking account?
Yes.
Well, now, tell me all about it. How did it happen?
My running expenses. They're so high. Everything costs so much. All the soap and towels, the laundry bills, the advertising, and all the dog candy. The boys I hired wouldn't work for babysitters' wages. Now I can't keep up the payments on your typewriter, and I'll have to take it back, and all the other presents I bought.
Well, now, I don't think it's as serious as all that. But why didn't you tell me about this before?
Because I couldn't.
Of course you could.
Then I wouldn't have been self-sufficient and independent like you wanted me to be.
Like I wanted you to be.
You and Mr. Greenleaf at the bank. You said how wonderful it was when teenagers could stand on their own. I wanted to show you that I could. But I can't.
Casey, look at me. Nobody can be completely independent. No one can stand entirely on his own.
I can't?
No. No man, no woman either, is an island, isolated. We all need someone, and especially when we're young and learning how the world goes. Now, you come along with me, and we'll get this whole thing straightened out.
Wait a minute, Uncle Homer. What about when you're older? Do you still need someone?
Oh, more than ever. That's when we need someone young to make us feel needed. Remember, find the need and fill it. And as far as I'm concerned, you've just become tremendously successful. And just as Casey and I came walking out of the living room, the telephone rang, and it was Mrs. Wilton. And she was calling to say that Tutu was safely at home. And she was calling also to apologize to Casey.
I see.
Well, I don't. I don't understand it at all. If Mr. Wilton picked up Tutu earlier, why didn't Casey know about it?
I guess I forgot to tell her.
You mean you gave Tutu to Mr. Wilton?
Mm-hmm. And after that hurricane blew in here and upset the poor child, I thought I wouldn't try to explain things until after Casey had talked to you.
Maude, you're a very understanding woman. You, too, are a success. And I can't thank you enough.
Well, you don't have to. I know I'm needed around here.
Indeed you are.
Uncle Homer?
Yes, my dear?
There's no school tomorrow, so is it all right if I go see the movie playing at the Globe?
Why, of course. You don't have to ask my permission to go to a movie. I have complete confidence in your own good judgment about movies.
Thank you.
What picture are you going to see?
The Secret Loves of Vanessa.
Oh, I think you'd prefer the Bijou a little more. I understand it's a delightful picture there. It's all about a little boy and a horse that is raised from a tiny little colt on his way out on one of those beautiful ranches.